Christmas again, everyone. And I hope you are having a fantastic day so far. Thank you for doing this today. Actually, it's probably my favorite thing today.
Hey, you've only just got up though.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is incredible. I love it. And I want to thank Jane and Red for doing this, and not just for doing this today, for everything they've done throughout the years. Thank you so much. It wouldn't be the same without you. I don't know how would it be, but definitely you are making a significant impact in our journey, and we love it. We certainly appreciate you. It's been a true honor to have Mr. Q&A evolve into Mr. Most Accurate Recapper Summary. And I think the Oscar of 2023 for the most accurate summary goes to Red Redfern.
Yay.
But I don't know if you would agree with me also. We all see Red as the voice of Europe, or maybe specifically the British voice of ONPASSIVE. And that gives us a ton of authority. I don't know how he would see himself, or Jane views him. But thank you so much, definitely.
Thanks very much, Ash.
Thank you, Ash.
I am celebrating the first activity, obviously, in Christmas is with my real family, Jean. Not the adopted one.
Yeah.
And I'm delighted. Yeah, definitely. I'm loving it. Thank you so much. So my favorite thing for 2023 in ONPASSIVE, it is not one thing.
No, it can't be.
There are things I think they're my favorite, but I cannot disclose. Those are the ultimate favorites, actually. But what I can share with you, also, they're not just one, they're multiple. And I loved what Rob mentioned. The Egyptian step was a great one. But to speak in general, I mean, the partnerships that we've had, they are incredible achievements and milestones in our journey. I can tell you that the clarity on the vision has become crystal clear now for all of us, and I'm speaking on our behalf. That is something I really enjoy seeing. Not only that, us in the company side, we see you know, things are more clear and opening up, but I see more and more of our family members, the founding members or new affiliates are really getting the concept more clear than before. Before it was a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we have the ecosystem. Okay. Sometimes you need to refresh your machine.
Yeah.
I was trying to talk about sustainability. That was good in a way that we've sustained and survived lots of maybe dips and hurdles we had to overcome in 2023. So the fact that we were able to get through that with total control, that was also something worth to say. Again, the clarity, sustainability, we've survived lots of things that was telling. And I just love the growth in probably that stands out the most for me, the transformation in our mindset as a whole community. We have become more and more as visionaries and with more leadership in our rules all of us. So I think that stands out. There's so many, but the sustainability to me that we were able to sustain a harsh year, if you would say, that is really good, makes us stronger. Again, you know, the clarity and the bond that we have, it's incredible. But please continue doing what you're doing, Red and Jane. It was always delightful. And we look for a fun and more fun in 2024.
Absolutely, Ash. It's going to be a big, big year. I'm absolutely convinced of it as far as ONPASSIVE is concerned in 2024. I think as far as wrinkles is concerned, the iron has been on full steam for the last 3 months. We are now hanging in the wardrobe with clean creases, ready, wrinkle-free to go in 2024. I think nothing can stop us now. Really is going to be an amazing year in 2024. The amount of things that are lined up for the company in the background now, they're all in queue, and only a matter of a short few weeks now before things start really kicking off as far as ONPASSIVE is concerned. I can feel it in my water. I know, I can tell by the mannerisms of the executives of ONPASSIVE that they are confident, and that is really what I take solace in, is knowing that I have people like yourself and the other executives, Mohammed Nassal, Mohammed Kamal, Dr. Taruk, at our helm, helping us steer this amazing business forward for the benefit not just of the company but also for its affiliates and users. And I thank you so much for that, Ash.
By the project that Dr. Tariq is working on is one of the major players is cashing in the $500 million revenue. It's not the entire, obviously not the entire industry. You know, it's much bigger than that. So we do believe we're going to claim a bigger percentage than 10% easily because of the other components, again, and the large team that we have on it, the broadness of it, the AI component again. But, you know, Red, speaking of wrinkles, my wife and I used to drive in California, a certain road specifically. It probably a few years, always they never finished the road construction. There's always work on it. And every time I say, oh my God, when is it? I'm grumping, basically. When are they going to finish this? This is taking forever. It's like an intersection, but it just like in your face. And one day we're driving in the same thing, and there's the billboard on that intersection. It says, Success Road is always under construction. What?
Yeah.
And we stopped and started taking pictures. I don't know who said that, but obviously it's like, have they been listening to us, or we're not the only who are complaining about this? And it struck me that if you're not constantly tweaking and tightening things, you're definitely paused. Like we go back to the same old, lame, boring solutions that we have right now. They're the same, like 15, 20 years. I hate those things. I'm sorry for the word, okay, but I hate things that never change or never improve. I mean, some traditional thing, museum, yeah, should be the same, but at least the system should improve. But when we're talking about technology, we're going to be always under construction.
Fantastic.
Not necessarily broke or broken.
Well, you only have to look at the story of Blockbuster and Netflix. You know, Blockbuster wasn't broken. There was nothing wrong with Blockbuster. You know, it worked. There
It's
was
time to
nothing
move
wrong
on
with it. But that what they didn't do is they didn't continue to fix, move forward, evolve, move on, embrace new technology. They had the opportunities, as we all know from the story. You know, Netflix approached them, wanted to partner them. They said no, and within six months, not even years, within 6 months, Netflix have overtaken them, and Blockbuster went bust. You know, and that is a true story. If you do not keep evolving, if you do not keep moving forward, then you get left behind. And funny enough, I'll give you a story about this, which is my dad, actually. I've told you the story about him networking 2 computers way back in early 90s. They had a German company called Neptune Computers, and he was one of the first hoteliers in the UK to have 2 computers that were networked together, and they read each other. 6 weeks it took this company. Now, he has always been an up-to-date technology guy. So he's always used devices. He's always been on the internet. He's always been up to date. You know, he's 86 now, and he is as knowledgeable as anyone about technical stuff that's around there now. Why? Because he has always upgraded his devices, what he's doing. With when new stuff comes out, he upgrades himself, his new technology. And if you notice, when new things come out, when you change over, there is a little bit of an embuggerance factor. You have to learn a little bit more, don't you? You know, to get up to speed, just a little bit. But each time you're learning a little bit, over 5 or 10 years, that little bit becomes a huge amount. And if you have been left behind and not upgraded yourself on a regular basis, that gap becomes too big, and people then can't catch up with where they want to be. And when we've got a company like ONPASSIVE, like you're saying right now, Ash, where they've got people involved, the executives who are working behind the scenes, who are actually driving that technology forward. They're not trying to keep up with somebody else. What they are doing is actually making new advanced technology. Then you know you're in the right business, because we are the forefronts of the business of driving this new technology forward, embracing it with our products and services, and it's others that are going to be left in our wake trying to catch up with what we have produced and what we are going. And I thank you, Ash, for that, and to have that vision to keep us on that straight and narrow.
Yes, indeed.
So I sincerely hope you're going to hang around for a little bit, have a bit of a fun, and to listen to a few people. I understand you are a very busy man.
I've been having fun already, so let's turn it up a little bit.
Okay.
I think we're going to need Jane.
Yes, Jane. Actually, Jane has got something to tell everyone.
Red needs Jane.
I do need her. I mean, can you imagine Red on his own out there in the wilderness?
Like yin
You'd be lost.
yang,
I mean, how would this
Lonely
person,
man.
How would I survive?
Well, thank
Yes.
you so much.
It wouldn't work, would it?
She's the better half of you.
Right.
It's been said.
Many times.
Thank you so much, Ash. Thank you for rocking up here. It's so lovely to see you. Thank you for making an effort. You seem to have made more of an effort than I have.
Especially
actually.
Chris Johnson.
Actually, my sweater does say "We wish you a Merry Christmas." You just can't see it. It's been quite the year, hasn't it? I mean, I was thinking about this earlier, and I said to Ed, we should talk about what's been the highlight of the year. And for us, from a personal point of view, the whole year has been bonkers. I mean, we adopted a dog. What was that about? Our daughter got married. We nearly died on a ship.
Yeah, we did.
So, and I remember thinking, when we were on this ship and it was rocking and rolling, I remember thinking, please not now. We're just about to really come into, some good times here. Please don't let us die right now. This is just so unfair, as we were rocking and rolling on this horrible ship. But But I agree with everything you were saying about Red. He does try very hard to recount and recapture everything that's happened in the week, and he's constantly looking. And it really, we've got two families. ONPASSIVE is a family, and we've got our own family. We seem to have got two families.
I love
now,
it,
like
though.
you said. But he lives and breathes it, and I allow him to, really, because it keeps him happy. So, and highlights for ONPASSIVE for me, like everyone else has said, just so many, so many. September the 1st, highlight for me, day before my birthday, and the payment gateway and OConnect started, and that was just fantastic. But never in doubt for us. We just keep going along, and I'm glad things change. And it's a little bit like going to the gym, isn't it? You can look fantastic, but if you just take your foot off the gas, going to look crap in a couple of weeks. So you do have to just keep persevering and going and stick with the program. And every single person on here, well done for actually sticking with this and never letting, just keeping the faith and keeping going and having every conviction. And I applaud you all, because you're in the best place you could ever be. And also just happened this year, he was 60. I know, he doesn't look a day over 59, does he? And there you go.
Right, yeah, hey, listen, yeah, just it's only a number, eh, Ash?
Also, can I just say as well, just before I be quiet?
No, I want your poem.
So 39?
Sorry?
39? How old is he now?
No, 49. He wishes.
I wish.
And also our grandson.
You and OConnect, yeah.
Yeah, our grandson watches Red on YouTube, and he's a little bit in awe of what Grumps does. And then, of course, when the Supercar Magulus came out, oh, he's just so taken with that, and he absolutely loves it. And he watches the YouTubes over and over again. And sadly, we've promised him one day that we will show him one of them. No pressure.
Jen, do you think we all agree that, that we got a sense of conviction that it is real, it's coming, though it might seem like taken more than we hoped for, or not like perfected the first shot, but at least, do you think there is a common feeling that, yeah, it's real, it's happening, or at least it's going to happen the way it was broadcast?
Well, if no one feels like that by now, they need to wake up and smell the coffee, to be honest. I can't vouch for people having what they think sometimes, but I know that us and the crowd that we are with and the company we keep all have the very same mindset.
Absolutely.
That there's no, there's no going back here. It's always forward with us, with ONPASSIVE.
It's never if, it's always when.
It's always when. And also, I was talking to Marty earlier. We talk to Marty and Chris every day, as you know, and we were talking to Marty, and we were talking about when we used to do the fireside chats like many years ago. It seems like many years ago. It doesn't actually seem that long, but it's about 4 years ago now. And we're saying that this isn't even the machine that we thought it was going to be. It's so far surpassed anything we thought. We thought this residual income, let's go. Listen, at the time, anything that wasn't a scam was a bonus to us.
Yeah,
because we literally,
yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, we've been scammed so many times, and I can honestly hand up. I said when we started with ONPASSIVE, or Red did, I don't mind saying, I said, this is the last thing. This is the last thing you're doing, because what happens is when you get scammed, you feel pretty crap, really, because someone's taken your money, or they've taken your belief as well, and everything. They steal your dreams, really, and it can make you quite depressed. And when that happened to Red a couple of times, one after the other, and with a few people that we know on here as well, he was sort of at the same time with these people. It's quite demoralizing, and it can make you you're not in a good place. So for me, when this happened, I feel like and he will tell you, I said, this is it. This is the last thing. You either put all your eggs into this basket and you push forward with this, or That's it. And thankfully, there you are.
Yeah, I also just want to say something on the back of what Jane's saying, Ash, and this goes directly to you, is that I can remember you saying on one webinar, and that is, Ash promises you the ability to dream again. And that really is what our ONPASSIVE has done for me. It's given me the ability and confidence to have dreams, you know, to have these dreams of where I want my life to go, where I want my family's life to go, what I can do, and all the rest of it. Now, how many times have many of us here had that dashed away from us because you wake up one morning and the website's gone, or they've run off with your money, or whatever it is. You give full trust and conviction into somebody because they sound like it, they talk the talk, they walk the walk, blah-de-blahs, all the rest of it. You wake up one morning, boom, they've gone. You're just a number. They don't care about you. Whereas with ONPASSIVE, and especially you, Ash, I certainly know that you would do anything to secure the company, to make sure that we're not sold down the river. And for me, that means more than any monetary value that will come my way, is because I've now got the ability to wholeheartedly have a dream, to think of where I'm going to be and what's going to happen, and if I do this, then maybe I'll be able to achieve this, because I've now got a vehicle that I know is going to be here not just tomorrow, not just next year, but in 5 years, 10 years, and indefinitely is going to be there for a long period of time.
Actually, Red, commend you for bringing this up, if I may.
Sure.
The way I see it, so many companies, and I question their intention, when they face the first challenge, oh, it's not us. It's a good excuse, you know. So that's an easy quit.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier for us to quit, safer for us personally, more money, less hassle, headache, and all of that. It's more freedom. But that's not the intention. We're not looking for an excuse. The only thing we have in mind is to get this done. Again, we're not going to finish it. Okay, it's going to be an ongoing process. Go back to the example of Success Road is always under construction. So this is how I see it. It's a lifelong journey. We are going to give it our all the time. We're going to keep on growing, evolving, improving constantly. Now imagine the same example, and I kid you, this is the reality. Like the next crossroad, okay, let's say it was not under construction. It's there, we take it for granted. There's nothing going on there, boring, it's not evolving. And the minute we recognize they've told us, yeah, we understand, okay, it's a genius billboard. We understand you might be complaining or putting up with this is taking a while, but hey, we're growing. This is a success road and it's never going to be done. It's going to take time. So the minute we got that concept or logic, we don't want it to go. So we just now cope with it. This is the reality. Yeah, that means there's something going on. As long as like your intention is to grow, evolve, improve, and add value. So this is going to be our intention, even if it sounds like for the public or for the outsiders, like there is, you know, a workshop here or a chaotic situation. But for us, this is normal. This is gonna continue until the last breath. There's no way we will back up our journey and our intention. We believe we're up to something that is monumental, and it will make indeed the best impact on humanity.
I do what you're just saying. I feel that the fundamental thing has never changed, Ash, from the beginning. There's never been any change in the direction. That the whole idea on the whole ethos of ONPASSIVE is to help everyone, and for that love, if you like, you want to call it love, apples, whatever you want to call it, to be spread, and that's never changed, and that's what I really love. There's never been any greed or anything. I mean, Red and I are very different in respect of, so Red has one idea of what he's a provider. Red's a provider. He's always been a provider. He's always been the same. He's always panicked if couldn't pay the mortgage years ago, and we've lived on jacket potatoes, Red and I, so many times. We've been down to $100 or bucks, whatever you want to call it, but Red's always been a provider. Now we've got two thought processes here. Red wants ONPASSIVE to make him and myself and our family comfortable. We want to be comfortable, and we don't want to stress about anything. Myself, I've got a list as long as my arm as what I want to give, you know. So we've got two things here going on, and both of them will work. You know, I've got a list. I've got somebody I want to help who's having medical problems. You know, our daughter's drowning in her student debt, you know, and it's a shame, you know, but people need help. And this is the whole, I love the fact that everybody and everyone on here should hopefully is thinking similar, that they can go out and just help your neighbor. It doesn't matter who it is, help someone and pass it on, you know, and that's where we're at, really.
Yeah, I do believe, you know, you're absolutely right, Jane, is that, you know, I have always stressed about how to provide for my family. I think that's a natural instinct of any dad, father, husband, you know, that they traditionally are the person to put food on the table, in basic terms. And that is where I come from. But that doesn't certainly take away from the fact that if I get to a stage where we are comfortable, then I won't slide very easily into into the other side. Because I mean, I have unfortunately got the experience of the other side of money, and that is with my sister. You know, they are multi-millionaires and they go to Dubai regularly, and they, you know, they have an awful lot of money, but they have no friends. Why have they no friends? And that is because they have burnt their friendship bridges on many occasions. So, you know, I am very mindful of where I am in this company. I am very mindful of my position, and as far as I'm concerned, my position in this company is to be the best possible person that I can be, and to help as many people as I can. Why? Because I know that everything else will be taken care of. And as long as I can do that part, then I know the rest of it is taken care of. So I certainly do not focus on what can ONPASSIVE do for me. You know, that theory of ONPASSIVE has really gone a long time ago. You know,
that's the difference between just a regular below average person and a leader above average, when they take the initiative and what can I also do? What's my value as well to the market or to the community?
Well, I think for me, when you fully understand and you accept that part is going to be taken care of anyway, so why not put your efforts and time into trying to help? Because in a roundabout way, Ash, it's going to help me anyway. You know, I mean, look at the company. The company focus on what can we do to help other people, but on the back of you helping as a company, other companies or collaborations or the rest of it, you know, as a business, it's going to help you as well. So when you get your mindset around of me, what can it do for me, rather than how much. We use the word value a lot in ONPASSIVE. You use it all the time. Why? If you give someone value, then they are going to use you, and then they are going to pay you to use that value. Now, the more value you give, the more people are going to use you because of that value. So, yes, you might not be making top dollar because you could get more for it, but you're going to get more and more people using you because of the value that you're giving at a lower price. But there's so much more, because once you have that person using your products and services, then you can introduce them to other things, and you can, you know, the list goes on.
Possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are endless, and especially with what's happening now with ONPASSIVE, with the amount of collaborations we have with so many different, not just companies, industries, governments, even countries, then it's all going to spill out. And as you once said, all roads lead to Rome. What does that mean in reality? Is that all of these things that are happening all over the place, it all funnels back into the company. And if it funnels back into the company, the beneficiaries of that are going to be the business itself, but also to a certain extent the affiliates that are involved within it. And so it's a win-win-win, and that's what I absolutely love about this business, is that
allow me to say this, we all do, in reference to what Jane said about, you know, we've been solid and on track from the very beginning, but we also, I think we all of us recognize now that sometimes it's necessary to make some tweaks or changes. You don't have to be stubborn and get stuck to the mechanics or the details, as long as you're on the right track. As also Red said, you know, we got to be updated or up to speed with things or technologies and all that. So you cannot have a vision 5 years ago in detail and say, this is what I'm going to have forever, and 20 or 10 years down the road, you say, no, it's the same. Then we go back to the same cycle of the outdated solutions that we witness today. But speaking of Rome and being comfortable, all right, let's reflect. 2023, you went to Rome, Mexico, and Barbados, Greece,
around the Canaries, nearly died.
So your favorite destination, Jane, 2023?
Has to be a little island off Greece called Paxos. Very quintessential Greece. You have to you fly to Corfu, you take a ferry. One of these little places where the water's crystal clear. There's no one on for miles, and you can pull up to a little taverna in a little boat, and that is quintessential Greece. And that's probably my favourite place.
Yeah, it was really special.
Yeah.
No airs, no graces.
Your favorite romantic dinner, was it in Rome?
Oh, come on, I really pulled the stops out, Jane. Come on, I really did a great job.
He worked hard on it, okay?
Yeah, right, man. I had this rooftop terrace overlooking St. Paul's Cathedral, St. Peter's Square. Somebody laid fireworks on down the road.
They did.
And we had like a really nice bottle of wine, and it was a Michelin star restaurant. It was fantastic, all the rest of it. But she's not going to say that's the best, is it?
I don't know.
She's not. I know she's not.
Well, Red's more of a foodie than I am.
I think, Red, you have to up your game for 2024. You're not killing it.
Mate, I'll tell you what.
I'm 60 in 2 years, and I've already started hinting about my orders.
It's no fun, Ash, I'll tell you, honest.
I drag you with me.
Oh, that's very good, isn't it? I try so hard, and to be fair, she is the easiest person to please, and we like nothing more, and I mean like nothing more than finding a backstreet cafe that does some really nice cheese and some dried hams and a bottle of wine, and just sat there watching the world go by. That will suit us absolutely down to the ground. You know, I'm not really a get dressed up every night person. I just really would rather just keep things very casual, low-key, tidy. But you know, like, we're not big on fancy restaurants. No, we're not really. I mean, once in a blue moon is a nice idea. We do them. Don't get me wrong, we do them. A nice restaurant once in a blue moon is great, but we really like local food. Like Red loves like finding anywhere that's got like fresh squid,
or you know, and we try and go local, really, don't we?
Yeah.
That's our where we can sit and people watch and try and who owns that yacht in front of us, that type of talk, you know.
I don't know if Rob Gorman left, but speaking of Egypt, today was a very busy day in Egypt. So that's the advantage of being an international company. It's like it never closes. There's always something going on. 365 days a year, and definitely 7 days a week.
And are you spending time with your family tomorrow, Chris? Ash, do you celebrate Christmas, or is it not a thing?
Yes, we are planning to actually, we're going to have a quick out-of-town trip, meeting more friends and family. We had to, we're blessed. We had a tough call. I mean, we had to choose between our favorite friends and who do we spend the time with.
Yeah.
We got a couple of offers, and we had to choose the least annoying one, and those who don't stay up like all night.
Those were in bed at 10.
Yeah, I know that
kind of
feeling.
friends.
Yeah, I know, right? Please,
no offense, but we got a couple of Latinos. Man, they party. Okay.
Well, please send our best regards and love to your family, to Ashman and the kids, and wishing you a very, very happy Christmas. And once again, Ash, from the Redfern duo here, thank you for everything that you do, not just for ONPASSIVE, but mainly for the affiliates and foundership. You know, you've always been there for us. I've never come across a CEO, leader, whatever you want to call yourself, who goes so far to make sure that we are updated, looked after, and you know, that's why I think the majority of us would follow you to the ends of the earth. I really do.
Or to Rome.
Or to Rome.
One day, Red, what would we call it?
What? So I didn't hear the beginning.
Red Perinera, like, okay, I'm trying to rhyme with the pizzeria.
Oh God. Well, my
What's this for?
I don't know, but my family had a hotel and they called it the Redfern Hotel, but we had a pizzeria part of it and we called it Ferns.
Bit boring.
But
It was a bit boring, but Ferns, F-E-R-N-S.
Simple, yeah. I like that.
It was the last part of our surname, Redfern, and we called it Ferns.
How did it taste? That's the bottom line.
Oh, beautiful! It was
it was really good. In fact, actually, it was
a proper pizza oven.
You know when you come across stuff or you do stuff that actually ends up being sort of ahead of time, and it doesn't work because it's ahead of time.
Yeah.
That's what happened with the pizzeria, because we opened it in my local town, and it was in a conservatory above the restaurant, the restaurant and the hotel, and this was in '92, and it was obviously kind of before pizzas are like pizzas now and takeaway and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And we started doing it, and it just didn't take off, really, did it? It was busy, but not like busy enough. And we always sort of thought we're a little bit ahead of time here, aren't we? Because if they had it now, it'd be swamped.
Yeah, packed.
Because
there was a place called Italy.
Oh, cool! Yeah, no, that's a cool name.
Yeah,
and there's one in London. It's a chain. They have only a couple in the US, and they have one in Dubai Mall actually, and they have one. If you know Bishopsgate, London.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They have a cool one there. Look it up. I think it's one of the most authentic Italian food and grocery shopping, and pizza is delicious there. Give it a shot if you're ever in London.
Yeah, I mean, I am a massive Italian pizza guy. I like mine thin, crispy, really well cooked on the bottom, you know, and not too much.
That's Napoleon is the thin one, the thin crust.
Yeah, that's the one I like. I don't like these thick,
Oh, no.
like pan-based pizza type of thingies. No. And you know, cheese crusts and like, nah, mate, that's not what pizzas are about. Come on, that's not how they're meant to be.
Do you like white sauce or red sauce?
Red. Come on.
White sauce on pizza?
It's
You
not.
have white sauce with pasta.
How about Hawaiian pizza? Pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'll do that.
That should be illegal.
Yeah, not for me.
I'll do that, but I like spices. So
Yeah, we
for
like
me, chilies, pepperoni, you know, all that type of stuff on a pizza.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be a good stop. I mean, anyone likes pizza, try Italy.
Yeah, that's a great name, by the
How are
way.
you spelling that?
EAT.
EAT.
One word.
ILY.
Yeah,
Italy. That's so clever.
yeah, it's very clever, that, isn't it?
Like a play on words.
Yeah, I know, right? We actually, in Gloucester Docks here, we've got 2 very good Italian pizza places.
Yeah.
One called Setta Bella, and the other one is called Bellamia.
General has like a real good diverse. Like you got real good Indian food.
Yeah, man.
Italian. I'm very sure some of the best British fish and chips food. Definitely. I don't know about Chinese food. How is it for Asian?
Right.
Like
it's all right.
It's better if you go somewhere like Manchester or somewhere where they have a big population of Chinese, and they have like Chinatown, and there's a choice of restaurants there, and they're all competing, and the food there is amazing. They'll have like literally
Spanish
Chinatown.
Or Spanish.
The trouble with Chinese in the UK, they still use a lot of MSG, and it's not fantastic.
No,
French.
Yeah, there's some really good Michelin star restaurants kicking about that are French, like Marco Pierre White, La Manoise. These are really good French restaurants.
Sushi's good. Got some Japanese places there.
Yeah, there's O Sushi, for instance. That's a chain that do some good sushi stuff. I absolutely love sushi. It's one of my all-time favorite foods. I love it.
Not Asian, yeah.
I absolutely love it. So
and smart.
We like spicy food, don't we?
Yeah, because I like spicy food. Like I love wasabi and the pickled ginger and all the rest of it. And for me, some really nice either tempura tuna or even raw, thinly sliced with some really good rice on it, some nice soy sauce with it as well. It's just really fresh, really good for you. I love it. Absolutely love it.
How's the Arabic food in the UK?
Never had it.
Never had it over here.
I'd love to try it.
Never had it. Obviously, I've tried Arabic food when I was in Egypt. As I spoke to Mohammed Kamal. I spent quite a lot of time down in Hurghada in the early days when it was almost just still a fishing village compared to what it is now. And we used to, I was part of a dive boat there, which had half the crew was from Hurghada. And they used to take us to places like in a back street, all cooked over open fires, and everyone was just eating breakfast just with level bread. A lot of boiled eggs. Chris would have liked that. A lot of boiled eggs and curried stuff and goat and lots of stuff in tagines, all that sort of stuff. Really nice. But in the UK, nah. Not seen it. Not seen it.
We were
not seen it, really.
To do a food tour. All right.
Yeah.
Diversity.
I was just saying to Jane actually a couple of days ago, Ash, that I want to go to India. I mean, we have travelled extensively, as you know, but
which country do you believe it offers more diversity?
Well, for me so far, and I think you'll agree, for me so far, the place that we've been to that I would go back for the food, not for the sights, is Thailand.
Thailand. Yeah.
Where?
Thailand.
Thailand. Oh,
Yeah.
but that's one type of food.
Yeah, I know, but I would go back there for that type of food because it was just phenomenal. You know, we ate, most of the time we ate off people on the streets, you know, just with a wok.
Like citrusy lemon.
Oh, mate, yeah, loads
herbs
of ginger.
like that aroma.
And, oh, yeah, lemongrass, gingers, loads of.
That's why I really would love to change my family, because they are not so much with Thai food. You know, kids are not going to eat the spice. They don't get it. Okay, it's kind of limited to them. They just do the tom yum or the tom kai, you know, soup.
Oh yeah.
Papaya salad, very basic. Even that can be spicy sometimes. Maybe pad thai, but they do.
Yeah, pad thai is just. Yeah, pad thai is not
noodles,
sweet. Yes, sugary. Yeah.
That's not really what it is. I mean, we had some amazing dishes over there, didn't we?
We did. We did.
And half the time I had no clue what I was eating, but it was fantastic.
I like that.
Mm.
You know who had a great vacation there? Michael Koran, our CFO.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spent. His brother-in-law has a resort, not in Bangkok, somewhere on the coast, and they spend some amazing time. You know, he's British, but he can do 5 chilies, the whole one, per meal.
Is that Michael, is it, you're on about?
Yes.
Yeah.
And his wife does 10.
Wow.
I have no chance to eat.
Gemma Ramiki gave us a hot sauce in Manchester.
Yeah.
And it was probably the hottest sauce I'd ever had. It was amazing.
I mean, I've finished it now. I've finished it now. She makes it herself with ghost chilies. And
it was fantastic. Gemma Ramiki. Yeah, it was fantastic.
But you know when...
Are you watching, Gemma?
You know when some things are spicy hot and you can tell if all they've done is chucked a load of chili powder in it to make it hot. You know, I mean, and this sauce that Gemma made was really nice. It was flavoursome, but very, very hot at the same time.
And not to overpower the
flavour. Exactly. And the trouble is, if you are a person that when you're making something you want it hot, all you do is stick a load of Tabasco in it or chili powder in it. You can taste it. It's not part of the flavour. You can taste it outside of the flavour. And the art is to use fresh chilies or ground chilies or pastes, and then it infuses into the flavour and it actually enhances the flavour of what you're eating. And that is the real knack. You know when it's proper hot and it's really good, because it doesn't upset your stomach, it doesn't give you bad guts and all the rest of it, but your mouth is just tingling, you know. And that's
Red. Can I just tell you, Ash, Red is an excellent chef. He doesn't really come across on ONPASSIVE in ONPASSIVE, does it? Because that's his previous life, but he is such, if there's nothing he doesn't know, honestly, and he will amaze you, honestly. He's fun. He is. I'm going to sing your song for you a bit. He is he's an excellent chef, and it's we forget, don't we? And I take it for granted how good he is, because obviously he always cooks here, but I take it for granted a bit how knowledgeable he really is. Anyone can ask him any question and he's just...
Don't you worry out there, by the way. OCademey's coming and there's going to be courses. Don't you worry, I'll teach you.
Yeah, so good.
So don't you worry.
He can operate well under pressure and major crisis. That's a rare quality in a leader, because many of us get nervous or overwhelmed in such a way. And a good example of that, like when we had the events in Boston and the Burj Khalifa thing, it was handled by you and Marty Dugarmo, obviously. It was slick. Yeah, perfect.
That's for another time.
Yeah.
Where is Marty? Marty, are you here, darling? Where is he? Put him on the thingy screen.
Yeah.
So I can see
I want to
you
say
too.
something. Maybe I can talk. Should we call? Because Chris is saying they're having. Some people are not seeing the screen. They're not seeing Red's screen. Maybe.
You can't see me.
Yes, I can see you, lovely.
Yeah, we can,
see
but
all of you.
I don't think attendees can. That's the.
Yeah, they can't see you, Red, or Jane, Ash. And
So Chris, can you tell them? I'm glad you're here. Okay, can you tell them to either refresh or change the view, like either gallery view or play with it until see if any changes happen. I'm curious to know if it's in their settings or something that we have to modify. I have, if you allow me, Red and Jane, today, we do have a new release, okay, just about to go live, very much before the end of the year. New OConnect release. Like a new one.
Fantastic.
And in about a month, it's going to be a complete revamp. We've approved it, and the key, it goes in line to what you were talking about earlier, which is to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
So the new, it's a new design. You're going to see, okay, is this OConnect? Like the layout, everything is changing. It will take about a month from today, like a good month. But
brilliant.
Fantastic news.
One word, modern.
Ooh.
Top notch. Modern, yeah.
Brilliant.
Did you hear that, Chris?
Yep, I heard that. And to answer your question, Ash, they have tried their change of view, the same thing, and they can hear everyone fine. They just only a couple of us. They can't.
That's strange. I'm trying to think.
Lately, what I'm seeing, it's the host and like a guest speaker, and the last couple, same thing. Where the other day I couldn't be seen, you couldn't be seen. Now today it's Red and Jane can't be seen, and you.
Yeah.
So we can hear you, but they have tried.
That's a good thing if they can't see me.
Browser, maybe they can try different.
I told them change their browsers, and everyone's.
I mean, it's probably not very technical, but I think there are a few troubleshooting tips always. If something is not working, not just in OConnect, anything, until you find out what could be the cause and help us with a good feedback if there's something that needs to be tweaked on the company side.
Yeah, they're just saying they've tried all the options, and also the and I hate to bring this up in here, the links they can't. There's a bunch of people. There's probably be another 2,000 people on here, but they say all the links they've tried are not worth. I sent you with another message what they're saying, what they're seeing and saying. It's not a secure.
Oh, sorry, but I wish I kind of like get any in-depth analysis to this, if it's from the system or something on their own. Like why for some, and why just a couple of the videos?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it?
No. No.
Like on 360 the other night, Ash.
It was sweet.
Yeah, but your picture never showed up.
Oh yeah, Ash's never, but everyone else.
No, just you. And I thought, thank God. No, I'm just kidding.
God,
No,
he saved some lives.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Well, I mean, it was so strange.
All right, so okay, let's back to the fun. So favorite destination now, favorite ONPASSIVE show, everyone, and to be more respectful, let's call 3.
Okay.
Apart from Marty climbing the Burj Khalifa.
What, Wreck-It Ralph?
Wreck-It Ralph.
We got 360, Manole, Roblin, and I think we just got one. Let's O. We got Julie and Michael. I don't think.
Yeah. On Mondays.
Yeah. And Sherry does.
Sherry does hers. Minnow does hers.
Yeah, Minnow does hers now.
We got Comfort too. Comfort and Colin. Comforts and Colin.
Yeah, Comfort do theirs every afternoon. Absolutely right,
and
Julie.
Heroes on a Sunday.
Heroes on a Sunday.
Team Champion, India.
Yeah, Team Champion India.
Yeah.
Well, loads for India, to be honest.
Yes.
Peter Rogers.
Yvonne Mundi does her global movement. I think that's on Fridays or something.
Yeah, and
Engineer Mike. Don't forget Engineer Mike.
I just said Engineer Mike.
I want to double check because he'll yell at me.
Don't you worry. He always yells at you anyway, mate, so don't worry.
Who else?
I should also mention Julie Peary.
Oh, yeah.
We have Digital Blueprint by Andy and Collins.
Yeah.
You are?
The what Collins said.
Digital Blueprint.
Yeah, digital.
digital.
That's every day, is it, Collins? I think, isn't it?
Every Thursday.
Oh, every Thursday.
Right.
And then OTech Pro is Saturday.
Yeah. Lots of people doing lots of good things.
Yeah. Keeping it frontline news.
Yeah.
Peter
absolutely.
Rogers, Merry Christmas. Where do you live?
No, I've been here. I've been listening, Ash. Merry Christmas to you and your family, by the way.
Thank you.
And,
Which part of the UK you live?
I live in Herefordshire, where the big cattle beef, Hereford beef come from.
He's about 30 miles from me, Ash.
Makes
And-
the
Not quite
UK
far
sound really
enough.
small.
Collins in London, I believe, Manchester, or
No, London.
Yeah, I live close to London, Milton Keynes.
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
Milk and beans.
The city of roundabout.
Yeah, I've never been
I think Milton Keynes was the second new town ever built, wasn't it? I think Telford was the first, and then Milton Keynes was the second.
Do you know what I discovered? Elon Musk came here, and it was the first town for high tech.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the, well, it was the first commuter town built out of town to accommodate people who lived and worked in cities. In the 60s, that was, I think.
All right, Gene, Rob, Julie, my American people, Garmo, Johnson, New. Your favorite state so far?
Ooh.
My favorite state?
State.
Oh, Michigan. What do you think?
Not steak, Chris. Not medium rare. Come on.
Michigan.
Oh, come on.
Well,
Michigan.
favorite state to visit, even though I worked there 10 years, was Hawaii. But the favorite place to be now, and I think forevermore, is right here in Florida.
Oh, come on, Rob.
That sounds fab,
I have to say, 70 degrees all year round sounds just about perfect.
doesn't it?
Well, it
I
is, you know,
think Julie
70,
in California is the same, isn't it?
Julie would know better there.
It is cold here, and it's about high 50, you know, every day in the winter time. At night, it's about 40s, you know. But it's
I've been
nice.
shorts
I
and
love the
t-shirt.
sun.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I'm laughing with Chris because at 50 is not cold.
I
you
know,
know,
what are we at?
I mean, the Californians are spoiled, you know, but when the sun comes out, it's warmer. I mean, like recently this week, particularly, it was about high 70. It's just beautiful. So people, you know, people come to California for the weather. I believe so. But, you know, the politics and all of that happening, people kind of leaving California. But that's why the real estate price in California, it's crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So
I saw a meme the other day, and it was UKans be like and Florida people from Florida be like, you know, and I had a picture of a guy from Florida, and he had a big puffer jacket on and a coat and a jacket, and then a guy in from the UK who had shorts, t-shirts, and flip-flops on, and it was one picture had 65 degrees, and the other picture of the guy in the UK had 4 degrees.
Right.
Here and there, yes.
Well, it was 71 degrees here the other day. I had a t-shirt
No
on,
way.
and Lenny had a hoodie, leggings, a second pair of leggings, closed-toe shoes. I'm wearing sandals.
Yeah,
So-
I have to say, Rob, in Spain when we lived down in Malaga, it was the same. Through the winter, if you were a local or Spanish, you walked around with like fur coats and hats full on.
Yeah.
And it was like 60, 70 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, nighttime was chilly. It was down to 10 or 12 degrees centigrade. But
the Brits soak up every ounce of sun there ever is. Literally, we're terrible for that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because we're so used to it being so
it's
grey here.
3 Celsius, 23 degrees here, Celsius in Orlando today.
How many?
23.
23.
Oh, what the heck?
Wow.
So what is it here?
Oh, Celsius. I'm
And
Double
sorry.
it up 30. So
I'm in
that
Fahrenheit.
is 46, 56.
Wow, that is a bit cold, right? That's not.
76. Wow.
I forget what.
I told you we're hot. I mean, come on. We got Chris Johnson in America. Okay. It's so obvious. We got Susie McCrae. We got Jennifer Lopez. Talk to me. We got
Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, I'll go for that.
Clooney. Keep going.
Hopefully she's in ONPASSIVE.
Yes,
What's
45
your
degrees in
Beyonce?
Pennsylvania.
Any
Yeah, she's in ONPASSIVE as well.
And you got Boris Johnson. Like, come on. That's your best looking.
Jennifer Lopez walks into any state, it automatically goes 20 degrees hotter. You know that.
I told you.
Well, hey, you know what my best part of 2023 was, Ash?
Tell me.
It was
getting Man of the Year.
No. I don't care about that. It was about watching Marty DeGarmo get healthy, and that has been a true joy for me to see his accomplishment. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you're looking great, Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, that's because Chris, we want him with us, man. There's no point in having opulence if you can't enjoy it, and we want Marty DeGarmo with us.
That's right.
Even with that shirt on.
Even with that shirt, you can bring it. That's fine.
I can honestly say ONPASSIVE has saved his life. I really believe that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Thank God for ONPASSIVE. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Every day. Every day.
Okay, let's get back to Christmas.
Hey!
Marty, though, kudos for you, though, about being transparent and sharing the journey, because I'm sure you inspired many others to do the same.
I agree, Janet. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Just shows how normal, everyday, how we're just all down to earth, normal, everyday people, and good things can happen to normal, everyday people.
Yeah. This is the beauty about ONPASSIVE, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has been built by normal people.
Yeah.
Recommendations from normal, everyday people who just want better for themselves. That's it.
But I'm just so happy to be called normal.
Yeah, I think it's.
I was just going to say, I don't think any of us are normal.
Don't you think?
I don't get that so much. And yeah, actually, what Gene said, if you're a normal, you can't be an ONPASSIVE. There's no way.
But don't you think we take normal, average people and turn them into above average?
Yeah. 100%.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, I certainly know I'm not the person I was 5.5 years ago.
I think ONPASSIVE has fertile ground to make you become who you can be. And a lot of people live and die and never lived. ONPASSIVE changes all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, can you remember, Marty, yours and Red's very first YouTube and your lives? When you think back, how, I don't want to say amateur, but it was quite amateur, wasn't it? And you look back and how both of you and how you've grown, and Red's delivery of anything now is astounding at sometimes, because when we look back at how bad it was.
Crap I was.
The first,
I didn't want to say that.
the first webinar we did live,
Yeah.
I went to ask, I was going to say, I don't know if he remembers, of course he remembers. I said, what do you want us to do? He goes, do what you do.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I hung up that phone and I went, well, that was a lot of help, right? Anyway. But no,
then we had the meeting.
No, and I went in and exactly how it went was, I'm going to do what I do. Red goes, I'll do Q&A. It was exactly.
Yeah, it was.
That's right.
It was. And Susie said she'd do that. Yeah, it was.
That's right. Everything fell where everybody wanted to go. Here and here, they went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
You know, I have to say this to the statement that Ash made earlier. The road to success is always under construction. It's not only apply for business. I believe for myself, it apply for your personal life as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel that, you know, every single day there's challenges, there's things that I learned that I didn't know that it exists. And then I'm seeing myself being more mature and more wiser. It's because of everybody. It's like when you go to webinars, you see different person, you pick different stuff from them. Because I believe that everything in life, the people went ahead of us, has invented that wheel for us. All we got to do is be either aligned with it and take what they have, and then apply it to myself, to your own self, my own self. And so, you know, the road to being the best version of you is always under construction, because every day you remove some of the negativities, the things that you need to work on, and you apply on the new things that you get. So it's always under construction. And on passive 2023 and the last 4 years that I've almost 5 years now that I've been here. I mean, I feel my life has been changing in life in here, in the living here in my own life. I don't talk to anybody. I'm always by myself. I do everything on my own, and I feel comfortable with that. But being an ONPASSIVE, I was able to break away from it. I mean, I never thought that I would be interview 200 people. I would never thought that I would be speaking in front of people. Yes, I mean, I did like the Maryland event. I just feel like, oh, I'm just here. This is me. I'm just going to go do it. And the thing is that being an ONPASSIVE helped me to eliminate some of the, you know, naysayer, haters, whatever you call that, because you know that inside of you, there's strength.
You got the confidence.
Yes, the confidence.
You got the confidence.
I believe the big deal is in ONPASSIVE, you matter.
Yeah,
it's that simple. You matter. Yeah.
And the best part of it, you allow to be who you are, and there it's just that comfort, that family comfort, that you know that when you are, you know, when you do something that's not how you're supposed to, someone will come and kind of give you slap on your hand and say, hey, you know, and you welcome all of that together. So I feel that, you know, the best part of ONPASSIVE is yearning, and Christmas time is also a yearning time. You long for something every single time when there's a corporate meeting or there's an announcement. You're yearning, you're excited, you prepare to, you know, to be there. You not only prepare yourself, you know, for the people that on the screen, you prepare yourself, you make sure you look properly, and for the people that listen behind the scene, you prepare yourself in a way where you get up, you take your notepad, and so that yearning is Christmas every single day, every single time. And that's the best part of 2023. And that's how I celebrate Christmas, is to yearn for something, hope. You know, that hope is burning.
I mean, it is yearning and learning, isn't it? Because I remember when we first started, when Red wanted me to talk, we lived in Spain at the time. I would go outside in the garden and talk because I was too embarrassed or I was too nervous to actually talk in front of Red, if you understand me. I was trying to get into ONPASSIVE, but I had no confidence in what I was delivering and how I felt. So he would sit in the house and I would sit in the garden, and we would be on separate devices because I couldn't quite grasp it, or I just felt really uncomfortable, I think. And then Julie, you and Milo interviewed me many moons ago, and that sort of helped me a bit. And then, like everything else, it evolves, doesn't it? And you get a little bit more confident, and you also realize that everyone out there on that screen has the same goal as you, and you're all heading in the same direction, really. And once you're comfortable with that and you feel that we're all on the same page, as it were, it helps you. So, and then now we ended up sitting here together.
Yeah, but we got a really good captain at the helm, haven't we? Who steers us in the right direction.
Who, Chris?
Yeah, Chris Johnson, the man himself, the legend. I mean, look, as soon as you just mentioned Chris, let's just bring Chris up. Obviously, Ash mentioned Chris the other day, that have really been the guy of 2023, and I really am going to echo my thoughts along with what Ash is saying. Is that when Marty and myself and we were talking about Chris before he was sort of brought under Marty's wing, and Marty said to me, he said, I've got this guy called Chris. He's a firecracker. He's got so much energy, and he's been on a few webinars, and I really think we should try and bring him along. And Marty has always been one of these guys that finds diamonds in the rough. You know, he says it all the time. He's always been one of these guys. Now, Chris Johnson was certainly one of these first guys that he brought along. Now, I can remember one of the very first times that Chris did a live, and in those days it was on Facebook, not on YouTube. Oh my God, you couldn't hear anything he said because he was just tapping,
drumming the table,
because he was so nervous. And that was his mannerisms in those days. He was just like this, bang, 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 bang.
Saying, I can't do it.
And you know, and that is how he got through it all. And this went on for quite a while, didn't it, Chris? But persistence.
But it's not 4th of July, Chris, for that hat today. You got the wrong hat for the
I have no Christmas hats. I have them, but they're probably buried in my storage in the basement somewhere. But listen, somewhere in Texas, someone's wearing a Christmas cowboy hat.
Absolutely.
See the stars and the colors. Christmas is about different colors. So happy Christmas.
You've showed up and you've got a silly hat on.
And that's all you need.
Well, this is my grandson. Gave me a grandpa shirt, so that was really cool.
I was going to say, I thought you were about to say that's my grandson's shirt. I was going to say, man, you stretched that.
His first present he ever gave me, so I love it. I'll be wearing this shirt a lot. So,
and Minnow is the prettiest elf on the show.
Oh, I was going to say Minnow by far.
Is it not an outfit or what?
Beautiful.
She fits a perfect elf. Let me tell you.
Doesn't she? Doesn't she just? All cute and tiny.
I watched Grinch last night, and she looks nothing like any of the elves off that.
Thank you.
I mean, Jean here isn't like a natural born speaker. Jean, you're so clear. You're so clear in your delivery.
Yeah, you are.
It's hard. It is hard if you've got like any sort of accent, and you don't seem to have one. I mean, you think you have. To me,
I take that as a great compliment. You know, it's kind of, especially since my mother was born in the deep South, Mississippi, and she went to college in Mississippi and studied speech and journalism and went into the newspaper business, and she ended up being a managing editor, whatever. She never, as far as I knew her, never had a Southern accent. My mother had this beautiful, like a diplomat voice, and even, you know, if she had a couple scotches, she never like fell into a Southern drawl or whatever. So it was trained out, her Southern accent was trained out of her in college, such that when my dad met her and we knew her, she never had that. And it's it's so interesting because, well, I had that influence on my life. My father was a beautiful speaker as well. But you talk about that non-accent, what's it, American newscaster, what if they go to school to learn how to, I don't know how you can not have an accent because everything is an accent. Everybody has an accent, I think. But it makes me think of my mom when you say that. So thank you so much, because I love my mom.
Jane, since you mentioned me, may I say a couple of words, please, and then I'll make room for other people who would like to come in the panel.
You stay there, Minnow.
Yeah, you stay there, Minnow, but carry on, sweetheart. Go on.
Okay. So what stands up for me for the year 2023 was the super leaders edify others. Chris, Marty, and Red, not Red, Roblin, I'm a little nervous. So they edify everybody, put the light on everybody else, make everybody shine. And the creation of OMinu, I appreciate Chris Johnson forever that he mentioned it, and Ash brought up that name, and it's near and dear to my heart. I appreciate that. And because of that, my ONPASSIVE family expanded. I got to meet a lot more of you, and then ONPASSIVE family is the place to go when all fails. So that's what I'm grateful. I'm privileged to be here among you, and I will stay quiet now for the rest of you to talk.
Oh, we feel like you've been with us forever, Minu.
Yeah, you are just an amazing person.
Yeah, we feel like you've been with us forever.
Yeah.
There's always room for more, always.
There's always room for Minu.
The world's shyest elf right there, Manu Miller. The world's shyest elf. He looks like Mrs. Claus. And then we got Niraj definitely looking like the Grinch there.
Yeah, and welcome Niraj and Peter Rogers.
So first of all, Red, thank you for the invitation for this particular webinar. Fantastic. So your first question is, how do you celebrate Christmas? Tomorrow is actually Monday, and in India, the banks actually close on every second Saturday. So it's a long weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So everyone is enjoying. So like we are going to get together, not on Christmas, but we are going to get together by the year end and enjoy. So we get together, we go to dinner, and of course in Christmas we hear those Christmas songs, but apart from that, it's more of an holiday for me.
Okay.
Talking about the next question, favorite thing of 2023, I won't say 2023, but I would say in general of ONPASSIVE. And actually, Ash actually covered that part, but I would give an extension to it. It's about ONPASSIVE has given me abundance. And when I talk about abundance, it is not about wealth or knowledge or any specific abundance. It is about abundance in the mindset. And how does abundance in mindsets come into picture? There are 4 things which I believe, and which I think everyone has quoted in their books. So these are the 4 things which I think are applicable in ONPASSIVE. Number 1 is that you have become a giver. You are more like you have started giving more in life. Maybe the first year where I was, and today where I'm contributing more, I'm giving more to the community, whether it is time, whether it is money, whatever. But definitely I can say that ONPASSIVE has made me a giver. Secondly, it's about gratitude. By default, Americans have a natural tendency of gratitude when they use, okay, I appreciate and all that. But if you are an Indian, that words do not actually come by default. But with ONPASSIVE, being with ONPASSIVE, by staying for 5 years, those words are coming there's a lot of gratitude, and it's from the heart. It's not just for the sake of gratitude, just for the sake of saying. So even when I go to a particular local destination by an auto rickshaw for you is, in simple words, a three-wheeler, for those who do not know. So when you actually when they leave you at that particular place, automatically I say to that particular guy, I appreciate for leaving me here. So that was never there earlier, so it started coming automatically, and I'm just giving you an example to show you at the raw level it has come in. Next is goals. Now, earlier my goals was to, okay, he owns a Mercedes, okay, he let me also own a Mercedes. He has a wonderful house, let me also own a wonderful house like that. But now it is more about goals that impact, that inspire, and that's the difference that has happened in the last 5 years. And lastly, I think Julie also said it now, that the whole got it now. You feel that you have on passive. Yes, it's taking time and all that. It will take its own time, but you already know that it's going to happen, and your life is going to change, and you're doing the things. For example, which were not possible, you think with a positive mind that, okay, you're going to do it and you will be able to do it. And that's the mindset change that has happened, and that is very important for me. So, yeah.
All of us.
Thank you so much, Niraj, for those great words. Obviously,
thank you, Chopra.
And thank you, Niraj, for being such an ambassador for the Indian community yourself, and Gusminder. You really have been amazing guys for the Indian community, and I thank you so much. Ash, with your permission, I'd just like to call on the last two speakers, and then we'll wrap this up. I think we've kept everyone long enough here for 2 hours of Monday Funday on a Sunday Christmas Eve special. We're all busy people today, so I'd like to, ladies first, Janet Butler, and then we'll finish off with Peter Rogers. So Janet, please.
Thanks. First off, Mary.
Oh, and Marty, sorry.
Marty, you're not getting away with it, Marty. No party without Marty.
That's it. There's no party without Marty.
So Merry Christmas, everyone, and thanks, Red, for pulling me here on the panel. I was happy to come on and be here. For me, the way we celebrate Christmas, we have a pretty small family, so we kind of focus more on the kids. We get together on the 23rd, actually, of December with my mom, because that's actually her mother's birthday, and she passed quite many years ago. So we all get together and we do a lot of baking with the little ones, and then we play board games with the older kids, and then we do like gift exchange. So that's kind of our Christmas. My favorite thing in 2023, I have a couple. It was cool that you and Jane started Monday Fun Day. I thought that was neat, because it was great to see the camaraderie between a couple actually engaging in ONPASSIVE. You don't see many couples, so I kind of enjoyed that. Don't often get to join a lot of the lives live, because I do work Monday through Friday, but it's great to catch up in the evenings. On the company standpoint, for me, I noticed in 2023 there was a lot of focus in the media and on the websites coming out about AI, ONPASSIVE kind of poising themselves as an AI company. And also I noticed focusing on business solutions. So really kind of taking a different direction and focusing on what ONPASSIVE can do for businesses. So for me, I was excited every Monday to see the new website, and really kind of, as the months progressed, not so much every week, but as the months progressed, you could kind of see how they were poising themselves for the business. And then, of course, I think it was sometime in August when they announced the participation in GITEX, that really culminated the whole aspect of, yeah, ONPASSIVE is really focusing on AI and businesses, because GITEX highlighted ONPASSIVE as one of the top AI companies. So that was kind of cool for me. And of course, GITEX started on my birthday, so that was even a little extra special. So those were kind of my sort of highlights for the year.
And we won the award for the best display.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And am I right in saying that because they won the best display, that next time they have it there, they get better dispensation for a bigger plot and a larger area to display? Because
section to manage, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, and Janet, thank you so much to yourself, Peter Sergiu, Daryl Cook, and obviously Dan Street as well for doing those write-ups. Without you doing what you do for us and putting those in the updates, I know myself personally and Marty DeGarmo would not be able to do our recaps on our lives without you writing those notes. So I thank you.
You're welcome.
My heart for it.
Yeah, you did a great job.
It's a pleasure. With working and balancing the kids, I just like to try to do something that I'm to contribute, because I really
balance it very well.
Yeah, you balance it extremely well, and we are so grateful for what you do. Did I just say do? I didn't mean to say do, by the way.
One more comment I want to make. I was when you and Ash were speaking, that kind of jumped out to me. There was a comment about, everybody saying, how long companies take and that this is taking longer or whatever. I just want to say, many people who start businesses generally are fortunate if they can see a profit within the first 7 years. Yeah. So, I think that kind of like just brings a little bit of an expectation. I mean, we're only in this 5 years. And the other thing is that in business, when you overcome something, you grow bigger. And it's actually been a huge joy for me, in my opinion, to see the company overcome little challenges and big challenges. But as the company overcame every challenge that they faced, the company grew bigger.
Yeah.
And many businesses, when they overcome a challenge, sometimes they have to take a step back just to stay in business. So in order to overcome a challenge, you have to kind of scale back to stay alive. And ONPASSIVE has been quite the opposite. Every time they've overcome and become bigger. And that to me, that's just, I've just been awestruck by it. So, but I want to wish everybody a fabulous Christmas. Thank you for all the prayers, guys. While the last month or so, I was struggling with, being sick and stuff, and still having to kind of forge forward. But thank you for thinking of me and praying for me. I appreciate that. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you, Janet.
For having me here.
Thank you. So before we move on to Julie, she's got a hand up, and then we'll go to Peter, and then we'll finish off with Marty. I just want to pick up on one thing that Jane said about bold. I think we have every right now as affiliates within this company, and the company have every right now to be bold. We have certainly earned our credentials now as a company within the internet marketplace. Now, as an IT company, we have overcome so many challenges, headed up obviously by Ash Mufareh and the corporate people there, that we can be bold. That's not being arrogant, that's not being big-headed, it's not overstepping any marks, but because we have overcome the challenges that have literally been thrown at us from every single area, not only externally but internally as well, we've got every right to be bold now, and that comes with the 5 years of preparation. It comes with building the foundation. It comes with all of the expectations that we want to. So, you know, let's be bold for 2024. It's going to be an amazing year. There's lots going to happen for all of us in every single area, and it is going to be the sweetest of rides. So, Julie, you've said a few words.
Julie read, this is an important topic I cannot avoid, you know.
Okay, go for it, go for it.
Because what you brought up, Janet, is quite important. Now, there is a statistic came just last November, a month ago, about startup companies, and it's staggering. 90% of new startups, businesses, they fail. 90%. On average, 10% of startups fail in their first year. But year 2 to 5, which we sustain that, another 70% will fail. So total is 80% within the first 5 years, if you follow the statistic here.
Yeah.
And for us sustaining that and going to our 6th year, strong as hell, and we are even more positioned for more growth and all of that, we are not in those really dooming statistics. We're among the positive side. So we can say we sustained the highest risk as a startup company. We didn't fail. In fact, quite the opposite. We are thriving. That's what I want to share. Big point, Janet.
Well done, Janet. Thank you so much for everything you do. You are a joy to have in the ONPASSIVE family. You really, really are. So, Julie, back to you.
Sorry, Red, you've said it already. I was going to say, you know, appreciation to Janet, Dan Street, Derek Cook, and Peter Searle on behalf of all the non-English spoken people, because it really helped, especially it really helped the Vietnamese community as well. I didn't need to do a recap, but you know, we show up and we just said any questions I can address based on what they're reading. So your notes that you're putting out really help the people that not speaking English. So I truly appreciate what all of you are doing. And also, Jane, I love looking at you. I love your hair, and honestly, the more I look at you, the more I want to go gray. So thank you, both of you, for having us here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Jane, do you know, so I'm actually sick of people having Jane's hair envy. It happens everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Toilets, streets,
where I go.
Restaurants. People go, I love your hair.
All right, if you want to have great style, I have a very cheap, easy way. Just come and work with me one day.
There you go.
Well, I wasn't this grey before we started with ONPASSIVE, so I fit in just nicely there.
So
thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Last two speakers, then we're going to go to Peter Rogers, and then Marty DeGarmo is going to close it all out for us. So, Peter.
Well, thanks, Red. Obviously, I've got to try and follow all the speakers have spoken already. I'm not a big speaker, as a lot of you know. I'm a guy who does a lot of work in the background. You know, ONPASSIVE is my through and through commitment. I love it. I love everything I do with it. You know, I obviously out with Heroes on Sundays with Collins, and I do a lot of things obviously with the UK and what we did with the events that went on in the UK. Obviously, the journey with ONPASSIVE over the last 5 years, there's been so much that's happened. I can't really pinpoint anything that I could say was the best event of what's happened in ONPASSIVE. You know, the Carmage list, everything that's gone on in Dubai, the train station, all the advertising, everything that's gone on, what's going on in Egypt with GTEx, what we had going on with the GTEx and all that, and you know, the advertising. It's just been a progression all the way through. It's been a journey, and so I can't really point my finger at anything and say that was the best. The whole process has been fantastic. And like Ash was just saying about businesses and all that, you know, when I got involved in ONPASSIVE, I personally started my own conventional business as well at the same time. You know, I mean, it's been very good. I've been very successful in that. And but I do know a lot of other businesses around me who've got in, you know, obviously started in business and just gone. They've just gone. And I'm proud. I think a lot of what's happened as well, what I've learned, you know, has helped me with ONPASSIVE. You know, from what I've learned from ONPASSIVE, has helped me through my everyday business life. You know, I think I'm more positive. I am more. I do speak more these days, and you know, and I think what's going to be happening in the future is going to be absolutely fantastic for everybody, and not just me. And I can honestly say, I mean, I do speak to a lot of people who you know, they want to be part of what we're doing now, like on the panel, and they hold themselves back, you know. And all I can say to those people, you know, you will find your path, you will find your way, and everybody finds their way. As I said earlier on, my way was to do what I did with the UK and the events. Hopefully we're going to be holding some more in the future, and I'm looking forward to getting myself involved in all that. But overall, I think we're all in a good place. We're on a good journey. I love ONPASSIVE. Red, you've been such a support to me and Jane over the last 5 years. You know, I've obviously had a lot of I've had a lot of personal issues as well that's happened. Some of you do know what happened, but it did affect me. But these two they've stood by me. They've, you know, pat me on the back and smacked me around the ear hole and said, "Get on with it."
All the time.
Yeah, get a grip, Pete. What's the matter with you?
So, anyway, you know, that's all I can really say. I think we're all on a good journey, and you know, thanks for letting me come on and just say a few words. Thank you very much.
Well done, Pete.
We couldn't have done it without you, Pete. You've always
well done, Pete.
You were beside my side prior to ONPASSIVE, mate, and I wouldn't have been able to do half of what I've done if you weren't next to me, mate, with what we've done. So I thank you as well. I really do. Ash, have you got any words before I go to Mr. DeGarmo, and he's then going to close it out? Okay, Marty, over to you, mate, and then we're going to close this session out.
All right. How am I going to celebrate? Well, it's happening now, right behind my camera. With the grandkids, they're celebrating. They could care less about Sunday, Monday, fun day, or whatever. They're having a blast. I know it's hard to take me serious. Hold on, I gotta itch my ball. My biggest takeaway, it's not just this year, is I've always looked at ONPASSIVE like a million-piece puzzle. We used to do them as kids with the family, and watching the pieces be put together, especially this last year, and starts to paint this picture. Now we all have an idea what it is. We know it's going to be magnificent, right? You can tell now. There's enough pieces there. Holy cow, where are we going? But that was magnificent. But that, and even more than that, is seeing people become who they are. That is top of the chart for me. So, yeah, it's unlimited, and more pieces are going to be laid. And to know that we get to be a part of that is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Merry Christmas, everybody. Yep.
Thank you, Marty. Before I say the last words to Mr. Mufareh, thank you so much for everyone who's been on the panel, the ones that are not here anymore. Thank you for coming along, making Fun Day, Monday, Sunday, Monday, whatever, wherever we are, I have no idea anymore. Great to see you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've had a good experience with all the stories. Without further ado, Ash Mufareh, over to you, and then we're going to close this out.
Once again, thank you so much, Jane and Red. Thank you for the invitation. It was really delightful, and we enjoyed being with you as we look for a beautiful ride in the next year. Merry Christmas. Cheers, everyone. I'll see you.
Thank you, everyone.